Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today as always. Before we begin, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when our video comes out. I have changed the time from 4 o'clock Central Standard Time to 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that's when I'm posting my weekly videos now. On the weekend, it could vary. But YouTube videos are 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, today's topic, did you hit that like and subscribe button now? And thank you to my 1,353 subscribers. If you weren't here, I wouldn't be either. So thank you, I appreciate you, and if you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. Okay, today's topic is going to be maybe not too inspirational, but educational nonetheless. I had one picked out, but I saw a post by Leah Thomas about this woman swimmer, or male swimmer turned into a woman, transgender, and the feminists are protesting about that. And I understand that. I think someone should be protesting about it. If my daughter was in that school, I'll guarantee you I would be protesting about it. But this just goes back to tell us that men and women are not equal. We are not the same. They've been pushing for equality since, the 1960s? And I believe in equal pay for equal work, and I believe that men and women are all equal in the eyes of God, nature, divinity, whatever you choose to call that higher power, your higher self, whatever. Yes, we're equal there. But in the reality of the physical world and what we are, the physical part of us and the emotional part of us, the non-spirit part of us, if you like, or the non-metaphysical part of us, we are not equal. We're different. I'm not equal with a dog or a rabbit or a deer, and I'm not equal with a woman. I am different. I'm not the same. Equal signifies sameness, the same, equal, the same. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Yeah, 2 times 2 equals 4, right? I flunked math in school. So we're not the same. If you add 2 women together, you don't get 1 man, do you? And if you add 2 men together, you don't get 1 woman. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. We're not the same. I'll never have a baby. I'll never be able to nurture children the way a woman can, because that's an inherent gift she has. And they're very intuitive too. Women are much more intuitive in general than men. They are. Okay? That's something it's their nature. It's like the nature of a tree is different from the nature of a stalk of corn. Or the nature of a tree is different from, let's say, a weed. It's different. They're both plants, yes, and we are all humans, but we're not the same, which is obvious by what's happening here with this swimmer. Okay, so if we go on to see what they have to say here, what do they say about this? Feminists protesting Leah Thomas say they are politically homeless. Democrats don't care about women. So I'm guessing these people were liberal, they were Democrats, and they feel like they're not anymore because I guess the Democrats are supporting this. A group of feminists protesting outside the women's NCAA swimming championships told Fox News they have walked away from the Democratic Party and believe many others have as well. I was historically liberal. I would say I'm politically homeless now because I don't think Democrats care about women and girls. One activist with the group Save Women's Sports told Fox News. Obviously, so this guy, it's called Leah Thomas now. I can't remember what his name was before, but I'll tell you later. Had a transition to a woman, and now he's competing in women's swimming. And he's like ranked number 1 now, I think, and he was like ranked number 450. Because obviously, how do I say, genetically, he's still a man. Now, he may have had his plumbing changed, but he's still a man. And this is where you see that men and women are not equal. Men are, in general, I'm not saying there aren't some outliers or exceptions, but men are physically and emotionally stronger than women. Now, of course, in our U.S., we're getting more and more feminized men who are weak. I'm not sure if it's the water, it's something in the water. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a lot of different factors. Everything is made so easy that the young men growing up or the children growing up are not out there doing the things that help us to become men. We're not challenging ourselves. We're not taking risks. Everything has become so safe and comfortable. Everything is climatized. There's one thing there. My kids are always in school with air conditioning or heating. In the summertime, it's so cold, they have to wear a jacket in school. So when they get out here in the real world where there's no air conditioning or heat, they have a hard time because they have not toughened up, let's say. So we have a lot of weak men in the U.S. I'm sure some of the other countries laugh at us. And let's not forget about the obesity and overweight situation here in the U.S. 70 to 75% of the people in the U.S. are obese or overweight. And that doesn't make you stronger and healthier. So think about that also. But back to the situation here that we're talking about. Okay. We're going on. They're really complaining. Feminism has become so muddled, much like the term Democrat has become so muddled. It's practically lost all meaning. Amy E. Souza, one of the leaders of the group of the self-described radical feminists, told Fox News. Radical feminists. All right. And then it has a headline here, Leah Thomas, which is the man's name now, or the woman's name, whatever you choose to call it. Is that derogatory to say it? I'm not trying to be, but what neutral? I think they want you to say they and them. Why is it okay to call a baby it? What is it? But if you say that about a man or a woman because you're not sure, and nowadays sometimes it's hard to tell if it's a male or a female, and you say it, is that considered hate language? Some of you can tell me. I'm not sure. I'm not too up on all these new terms. So inform me in the comments if you know the answer to that. Okay. I am a lifelong registered Democrat who ultimately feels politically homeless. Oh, I read that. Okay. But Leah Thomas ties for 5th in 200 freestyle is ignored by competitors as she exits the pool. I don't see much difference. I mean, it's a strange comparison between this man having a sex change, transitioning to a woman, and competing as a woman, when in reality he's physically a man, as someone using steroids to enhance their performance. And that's illegal. This is the ultimate steroid here. Become a woman, or at least become recognized as a woman when you're still a man and compete against women. If my daughter was there, I would be having a fit. I would probably pull her out of school. I certainly wouldn't want her in the sporting program, but that's not fair for my daughter, is it? She wants to compete, and she has to compete against women. How can she compete against a man when he's superior as far as emotional and physical strength? Men can generally train harder than women. They can take more abuse than women. It's just the way it is. It's nothing derogatory or anything for a woman to feel badly about or feel like anybody's putting her down, no more than it is if a woman said to me, well, Mark, you're never going to have a baby. You're never going to know what that's like. No, I'm not. Okay, so what? Hey, I accept that. It's the truth. No big deal. I don't want to have a baby, okay? I'm not a woman. I'm a man, a male. As far as I'm concerned, if you're born with a penis, you're a male. If you're born with a vagina, you're a woman, a female. Why is it so difficult? Why do we have to muddle that up? It's beyond me. Okay, moving right along. Let's see, and they're protesting here. She went on to say, Biden's executive order, which that's kind of like a dictator. Dictators make executive orders, right? They just decide what they want. There's no vote on it. Hey, it's going to be this way. To prevent discrimination on the basis of gender identity was a slap in the face. From that moment, I really haven't known how to categorize myself politically. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Another member of the Save Women's Sports said, I always voted as a liberal from 18 to 39. I registered Republican in 2020 after two politicians told me they did not want my vote because of my stance on the rights for women and girls. Well, how about this? Why do we have to label everybody? Why do you have to be a Democrat or Republican? I don't quite understand that. Or why do we have 63 genders? What was wrong with a male and a female? I haven't figured, like I said, that's beyond me. Moving right along. Okay. Let me see what else they have to say. And here we have them. I wish I could show this to you, but I don't know how to do that yet. We have them standing on the podium. Here we go. Transgender woman, Leah Thomas, left. She's on the left. Of the University of Pennsylvania stands on the podium after winning the 500-yard freestyle as other medalists. It goes on to say their names. Posed for a photo at the NCAA division. Women's Swimming and Diving Championships, March 17th, 2022. Well, that was just, gee whiz, yesterday. Day before yesterday. Now, the three women are standing like 10 foot away from her, and then she's over here by herself, and she looks like a giant compared to them. My God, she must be 6 feet tall. Well, they're kind of crouching down a little bit. Maybe I can put the link in the video for you to see this if you desire. They wanted to put men in prisons and men on sports teams in my daughter's school. They wanted to put men in prisons and men on sports teams in my daughter's school. I don't understand. So that's why I decided I cannot be part of this party anymore. That doesn't even recognize my sex class. Now, the woman continued. Another woman said she believes many others will abandon the Democratic Party due to its positions on women's issues. For years, women have been wanting this equality. We're the same as men. Well, this is kind of proof, right? This is what they've been shooting for. If men and women are the same, why are they complaining about this man who's blowing them away in the swimming competition? I mean, I agree with their point, but it just goes to prove what they've, or disprove what they've been trying to say, that men and women are the same. They should be treated the same. And as I said, I believe they should be treated with the same respect, but women cannot do the kind of work men can do. In general, there are outliers, as I said, exceptions, but in general, they just don't have the physical or the emotional strength to endure the monotony and misery of war, for example. So that's why, guess what? They've never been on the front lines. Maybe one or two, but they just don't have that. They're not made that way. It's not in their nature. So why try to be something you're not? And what amazes me even more is a lot of these women that don't like men or hate men or become lesbians because they don't like men, and I'm sure not all lesbians do that. I have gay friends and clients, and they don't seem to hate men or women. But the point I'm making is they talk about how men are so oppressive, let's say, but yet they dress like men, they act like men, they walk like men, and they talk like men, even though they're women. Isn't it amazing how we become what we hate, or we become what we love? They've embodied the aspects of a man when they say that they're oppressed by men and they don't like men. So isn't it a contradictory way to live your life? On one hand, you say you hate something or you don't like something or the way things are, it's oppressive, but yet you try to be the very oppressiveness that you are discounting or are complaining against. That's something to think about. Okay, we are going to see what else they have to say here. I don't know what they're going for the next elections. Is that the end of the article? No, that's about it. It was a short article. Oh, here we go. But it's all worrying about the Democratic Party. Oh my gosh, isn't that terrible? It says, I know a lot of historically liberal people, especially parents, who have felt like they needed to walk away from the Democratic Party, she said. I don't know who they're going to be voting for in the next elections. Maybe Trump. We better stay out of politics here. I think we're going to have a lot of people walking away, really. Well. I just don't know about these parties. Democrats, Republicans, Libertarian, there's a few more, isn't there? I just vote for whoever I think is going to do the best job. I don't particularly approve of our president now. If you do, that's fine. I don't hate you for that. I know that everybody sees things differently. I know most of us don't like paying the high prices for gasoline, but hey, we'll survive. I went through the great gas crisis of, 1978 or 9, where we had the lines for the gasoline. Gas was high and expensive. You could only get gas on certain days, etc., etc. Oh, there was a gas shortage. Isn't it amazing? There's not a shortage today. If we were running out of gas back then, how come we have so much gas now? Could the government have been misleading us? Oh, surely not. They wouldn't do that, would they? No. Couldn't be. Could not be. I was reading the the Gettysburg Address. What does it say? A government for the people, by the people. Well, I can't remember, but you get the message. All governments kind of become so powerful that they're not so much for the people anymore. But there are people in the government that are still, I really admire that governor of Florida. He's kind of running out like his own. I appreciate that. He's got enough courage to stand up against what he believes is tyranny. So, and a lot of people are moving to Florida. But that's way off the subject of transgenders here, or whatever it is we're discussing, men and women, equality. So, back to my original point, once again, there's proof that men and women are not equal physically and emotionally, okay? So, why should women get paid the same as a man if they don't do the same amount of work? Now, obviously, if they do the same amount of work, they should be paid the same. If they do more work and better work, they should be paid more. I don't have a problem with that. And I don't know too many men that would have a problem with that, unless they were extremely misogynist. Although I've been called misogynist for my views. I believe in traditional marriages, although none of mine have worked out because of the influence of the social programming here in the U.S. and my ability to become a little complacent in relationships and not be as strong of a leader as I should be. This happens to many of us men, and don't let that happen to you. You are the leader in the relationship. And if you become complacent and passive, then your woman has to start wearing the pants, as you say. She doesn't want to do that. Even though seemingly she may be trying to do that, she does not want to lead. And if you allow her to be, let's say, an equal partner in a relationship, she doesn't want to be. There comes a time, many times in relationships, where someone has to make the ultimate decision. Guess who that is? You, the man. Because she does not want to be responsible for the consequences of that decision, especially if they're wrong. And you as a man have the ability emotionally to handle that. You have emotional strength to handle those situations. You're going to make mistakes, but you are the one that needs to be making those mistakes. You're the one that needs to be making those final decisions on what to do. So there has to be a leader. Sure, you guys can talk, you can discuss it, but in the end, someone has to make the decision. So if you're not leading the relationship, your woman is forced to wear the pants. She doesn't want to do that. Contrary to what social programming has instructed us is the correct way to have a relationship. It just doesn't work. Look at the divorce rates here. 50% divorce rate, 70% initiated by the woman. Even the women are leading the divorces. And a lot of people will say, well, that's because men can't abuse women like they used to, so these women have a way to get out. I don't know, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. Something's not working. And the best possible relationship for children to grow up in is a family, a husband, a wife, a secure family where the government is not so involved. There's too much government involvement in the family, and it's destroying the family, along with a lot of the feminist movements and things like this. A lot of men are they're opting out of marriage because it's such a risk for them, such a risk for a man to marry in the U.S. You just well flip a coin. You got a 50-50 chance of it not working out. And if she decides she wants to divorce you for whatever reason, doesn't matter. If she's committing adultery, it doesn't matter. You could come home and catch her in bed with a man. It doesn't matter. She can still divorce you, take the kids, the house. You have to pay for her lawyer if she can't, if she's a stay-at-home mom. You would not believe the things that... So if you're going to get married, you need to check this out, because this is how it is. And as a man, what do you have to gain by the marriage? What are you going to gain? You think that she's yours after you marry her? No. She's only yours if you're leading and she wants to stay with you because you are a strong leader. And it's very difficult to lead in the U.S. because of the government power given to the woman in a relationship. And as we know, women are very emotional. I've seen women act on their emotions, throw their boyfriends or their husbands in jail. The next day, they're down there trying to get them out because they wish they hadn't have done it. But then it's too late because the state has already taken over on the domestic charge, which many times is not a true charge. The woman has made something up to gain control over the situation. And once the police come, someone has to go to jail. And unless she's beating the hell out of you when they come, guess who's going to jail? The man is going. So I've been involved in some of these situations. I haven't been for many years because I've learned from it. I stay away from those type of people, even though those women are usually the best ones in bed, the crazy ones. But although I must have been a little crazy myself, or I wouldn't have been with them. Okay, I'm getting way off the feminists and the transgender and the differences between men and women, so I'm going to get off here. You guys, if you'd like to get my help personally, check out my website, marksinspiration.com. And as I said, leave a comment in the comments section if you would like me to speak on something. I'd be glad to do that. And once again, thank you for being here with me. See you tomorrow.